ETC, it's Hiba, your live reporter here at our third panel of the semester, which is for the music panel. Today we have awesome professionals from Microsoft Lounge, the Observatory of OC, as well as Insomniac. Now, if you guys want our exclusive interviews, make sure to keep watching. I'm here with Shannon McCarty, who's an assistant events coordinator at the Microsoft Lounge. Thank you for being here today.
Of course, thank you for having me.
So now I know you graduated from Cal State Northridge, and you got an internship at the Visionary Group for about a year. So what did you learn from that experience?
Well, with that company, I was interning with their kind of event production program, and we learned, taking events from like step A all the way till final event production day of. So clients would approach us with an idea. We would create kind of like a mood board inspiration presentation to them, present it. If they liked it, we move forward, and my job mostly was coordinating with vendors, getting furniture, decor, ordering supplies we would need, and then kind of bringing it all together, creating the layouts, running shows, like literally all the finite details and going into the overall production of the event.
And not only did you do that, but you also worked for Insomniac as well in guest service and in ground control. So what did you learn from that experience as well?
So with that, it was a little bit different experience than the Visionary Group. We mostly dealt with attendees the day of event, and with ground control it was more kind of health and safety, kind of welcoming the attendees, making sure if they needed any help with anything, to get that for them. And then with guest services, I was one of the lost and found supervisors for a long time, and that was a crazy experience in itself. And then so with guest services is more of just making sure everyone has the right information and getting them the right information as it becomes available.
Perfect. Well, thank you again so much, Shannon. And once again, this is Shannon McCarty, who is an assistant events coordinator at the Microsoft Lounge. I'm here with Taylor Salcedo, who is a guest services supervisor at Insomniac. So a lot of our panelists today have worked with Insomniac sometime in their career. So how did you get your foot in the door there?
So my friend, my freshman year, actually started working for Insomniac as a volunteer, and then they started hiring people to just work ground control, like the health and safety team. And then I was like, okay, I don't listen to EDM, I don't go to raves, but I would like to do events. And so I tried it, and I fell in love with the culture, and I fell in love with the company. And so since then, I've kind of just worked my way up after a few shows, and then now I'm a supervisor in the guest services or the customer experience department. And I basically do like lost and found management, or sometimes I'll work with the PR team and do the hotline. So it just,
So like a vast amount of things that you do there.
I've literally done probably about 7 different positions.
Wow,
I think in Insomnia, because that's just kind of how it is. After each show, you just rotate and do a bunch of different positions.
And now you're also a Cal State Fullerton alumni, as well as an ETC alumni. So what did you do on campus that kind of helped you in your career?
So I did a lot. I joined ASI my freshman year. And then I did the spring concert team. I highly recommend the spring concert team in ASI, because I probably learned the most for creating like music festivals, things like that. I dealt with like artist management and stuff like that through them. And then eventually worked in ETC, or I was a member of ETC, was a VP of events, so I got to learn how to put on more like industry style events, and I learned a lot there. And I just kind of tried to put my shoes into everything. And then I also got hired to work the Concert Under the Stars for campus right after I graduated. So then I worked a donor event for them. I just kind of did a lot of different things.
Wow, she's done it all.
She's done orientation leader, that helped a lot. So I did a lot of
Wow, perfect. Well, again, thank you for being here today, Taylor. And once again, this is Taylor Salcedo, who is a guest service supervisor at Insomniac. I'm here with Brian Meckelborg, who is the CEO of Bracom Communications. Thank you for being here today, Brian.
Sure.
So now you've worked huge productions like Coachella, Stagecoach, the Weenie Roast, as well as Kiss FM's Jingle Ball, and those are just to name a few. So what were your positions and your role during those productions?
Over the years, I've done just about everything. I've done everything from security guard, standing at the back gate all by myself for the entire night. And I realized I didn't want to do that. After doing that, I worked on stage crew, built steel, did lighting, did sound, became a production manager, worked as a promoter rep, did security for a while in management. I was director of security for Insomniac. Somebody else was on an Insomniac.
Yeah, a lot of our panelists today.
So I worked for them for a number of years. I've done, and then I've owned all through my career. I've either worked for or owned a communications company.
Okay.
So that was a big part of it was providing the walkie-talkies and integrating communications and communications management for these large events. So done a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and so it seems like you have jumped around a lot in this industry. So is that a way to kind of describe the music industry? Very unpredictable, unsteady in a way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Most production work is, job to job. So anybody that's working is always looking for their next gig.
Right.
And the more you know, and the more flexible you are,
right.
it's certainly a way. If you just pigeonhole yourself as all I do is guitar tech, then then you can only look for guitar tech jobs.
Right.
But if you have the ability to do that and mix sound, or that and tour manage, or it just opens it up. So most people that have been around for any length of time try and become proficient at more than one position. And over the years, I've been lucky to have done that. Like I say, a jack of all trades, master of none.
Perfect. Well, thank you again, Brian, for being here today.
Sure.
And once again, this is Brian Borg, who is the CEO of Bracom Communications. I'm here with Rania Corey, who's a specialized playlister at Hits Magazine. Rania, thank you for being here today.
Yeah, of course.
So now tell me, what does a specialized playlister do?
A lot. So a lot of what I do is I find user playlisters on Spotify. So anyone like you and I could be a user playlister. We could get a bunch of hits on it. A lot of the playlisters I'm looking out for have like 20,000 plus followers on it. But yeah, these people just love music. They love creating playlists, and they kind of just create their own brand afterwards. And so what we're looking for, we're also run by a management company, and so a lot of our artists are just getting started. So what we want to do is we're trying to build clientele and trying to build relationships with these playlisters so we could get our songs on those playlists. So for example, I just finished a deal with Work Hard, Play Hard playlist, and one of his playlists gets, I think, like over 30,000 monthly visits. So that number is going to be tremendous for our artists and also for him. So we're kind of just building relationships with them, trying to see how we could help them and trying to see how they could help us at the same time.
Right, and now being a Cal State Fullerton alumni, you're going to be our third on the panel that's an alumni. What advice would you give to students that want to break through into the music industry?
I would just say just get out there as soon as possible, no matter how long it takes. I think my biggest regret when I was still a student is that I wasn't in that scene as much as I wanted to be. So a lot of the industry is about who you know, and just talking to people is really important. So I would just say just get out there, go to LA, go to shows, and just make friends, make relationships, because you never know who you're going to run into or who people know. So
networking is very important.
Super important, yeah.
All right, perfect. And again, thank you for being here today, Rania. And once again, this is Rania Corey, who is a specialized playlister at Hits Magazine. I hope you guys all had an amazing time at today's music panel and gained some knowledgeable advice from all our industry professionals today. Now make sure to watch out for our last panel of the semester, which is for film and TV. And don't forget to follow us on all our ETC social medias, including our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Once again, this is Hiba as your ETC live reporter.